have an MVP with us who is going to take us on today's session. And it's also on a topic that a lot of people underestimate. Most people don't practice it well enough, but then in real life projects, it's one of the things that customers care a lot more about. So we are going to do role level security, and our presenter today is Olajide Idowu. Okay, this session is brought to you by your BizEdge and MHS Analytics. We're a training company based out of Nigeria, and if you need consulting training services, we are one of the reputable persons you can reach. And then we also have online classes, so I'm going to share the link because we have some promo stuffs that you can take advantage of, free templates, free resources. So I will share that. MHS Analytics is our Canadian entity, and if you know anyone who is trying to get into the data analysis space in Canada, US, UK, and they want maybe a more targeted Nigeria-friendly provider, they can reach out to us. And so that's the end of the now to the main thing. Our speaker today is Olajide Idowu, and I'm going to my screen shares. Let me just that all over the presentation mode cancel. But I just share the entire screen so that it doesn't cancel again. So he's an MVP. He's got over 14 years of experience in this space, across the data analysis and data management industry. He's also a Microsoft certified trainer. He's trained over 25,000 people. I'm going to share his LinkedIn in the chat so that you can connect with him. And also, he's someone that I've been opportune to be in same events as him, I think mostly virtual, and I can tell you that you will like his presentation style. He's someone who is a teacher, so you're going to thoroughly learn what he's trying to teach us. He's not just going to just present to us, he's going to actually teach us. So I'm going to hand over to him now. And so, sir, over to you. I will stop sharing my screen and go into the background.
All right, sir. Mr. Michael, thank you once again. Please let us confirm we can hear me. If I need to increase my volume, let me also know. So please kindly confirm, sir. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. This is Olajide Idowu, and I will be sharing my screen now. So I beg everyone, I want to plead that regardless of our level, my point is maybe you are level 0, level 10, please be free to ask any question. If I'm speaking in an unknown language, pardon me, I'm just trying to say if I'm speaking the language you don't understand, maybe I'm speaking grammar, please drop a message and I'll be notified so that I can adjust. If you cannot hear me at any point in time, also let us know. The most important thing is that we do not want anyone to leave this event the same. We want you to be able to pick one or two things. So intermittently, I'll be asking, don't mind me, I'll just be asking, are we following? I hope I'm not too fast. I hope I'm not leaving you behind so that we can show that everyone is fine. At this point, I'm sharing my screen and I'll put it on presentation mode. I'm sharing my entire screen actually. So, and I'm about to, I just did. And so once again, I just want to confirm, I hope we can see my screen. Can I proceed?
Yes, all clear.
Thank you. Good. Now, what we want to look at is what we call role level security. Of course, this is Power BI session. Now, it is very important. I wouldn't dwell too much on this. I just put some things here. I've been privileged to work in some places, so we are all learning together. So I'm just going to move away from the slide first. So what we'll be looking at, just to talk or touch on row level security in terms of what it is, then we'll look at two kind of row level security, which is static and dynamic. I also put some notes for consideration, but of course, we'll just after then we'll go into the practical session. So not everyone should see the reports. What do I mean? Let's say you are the data analyst for the entire organization. When you create a report, the report is not for you. One, the report is for some people who are referred to as users. Then, not everyone should also see everything. What do I mean? There should be some level of restrictions in terms of who sees what can this see, or what should this see, what should this not see. So when you need to ensure that everyone should not see everything, then there is need for you to introduce something that will filter it. So in a layman, I often say that row level security is a form of filter. All right. You know that filter in a layman would be like selection out of all the cups. Can you bring the yellow cups? So meaning that everyone should not have access to the entire thing. We need to filter out something so that, I mean, they can see what they are supposed to see. So row level security is the go-to guy in Power BI when we, or one of the things to, of course, leverage on when it comes to that. I wouldn't want to skip this because it is very important that whatever report we are creating, of course, is not for you, so you wouldn't publish into my workspace. In case you have zero knowledge and you don't understand what my workspace means, uh, workspace is a shared environment. In case that is also like, okay, what is shared environment? Somewhere where you put your report so that every other person can have access to it. So that is the workspace. The name Power BI or Microsoft gave that place, all right, it's called workspace. But in a layman, it's just an environment where you dump something so that other people can have access to it. So meaning that when you create a report, it has to be put somewhere so that people can have access to it. We are now saying that even if they should have access to it, they shouldn't see everything. All right. They should not, if let's say our profit is 1 trillion, not everyone should see 1 trillion. Some people should see, if you are in Canada branch, you should only see what pertains to Canada branch. But if you are also moved to Lagos, you should no longer see Canada branch. You should be seeing Lagos branch profit or details about the branch you manage. So there are 4 roles when it comes to that workspace, that place where you do dump your report. There is a row called admin, there is a row, another one called member, there is contributor, there is viewer. So, but when you want to do row level security, you want to put that restriction there, they would say that do not give anyone admin, member, or contributor. So the access that you will give to everyone will be a viewer, because viewer on a workspace is just to look. Normally, no one should even alter the report. So if you create a report, you should, of course, since it is just for them to see what they are doing, so viewer will be the right role or access to give. And we are now also emphasizing that when you now create row level security, of course, you want to give everyone viewer. So if that makes sense, in case there is anything, be free to drop your question. I wouldn't read through the slide, but it's just for us to, this is recorded, so it is captured. We can also have more access to all of these details on the Microsoft platform, right? So, but it's just to let you know that if there's anything row level security does is to prevent unauthorized access in terms of you do not have access to this, so you cannot see. So there is a security that has been put. There's a padlock that limits your movement from one place to another. All right, just forgive me. So I do that often, just to mention something, to bring it home to you. So, of course, best practice. You can see that it is best practice when it comes to different roles in terms of permission you want to give to this one should see this one should not see that. So these are some of the things, right? So we have 2 types of row level security. Basically, there is the one that is called static, and there's another one called dynamic. What is static? Now, static is to say, for instance, so let me liken it to a scenario that has to do with sales. So in year 2010, we have maybe 1 million, 2011, 2012, 2013. Our management is now saying that, please, when you create this report, don't let them see 2010, 2011, let them only see 2013. So if I put if I obey that instruction and I create a row level security and I invoke that, right? Meaning that though there are more years or there are more information in the report, but based on instruction I was given as the one that created the report, I have restricted you to only see for a particular year. It's not only year, it will be, maybe you have different channels. Let's say we have online is one of the channels. Maybe some people buy through the app, but some people walk into the store. So maybe management just say, okay, don't let them see. Maybe we realize so many profits in one place. Management do not want you to see anyways. So they just say, okay, let them only see what happened in the store. So if I say where channel is store, just forgive me, right? In case of SQL, where you can say, okay, just let them see only for a particular channel. So that means that there is a kind of restriction that limits you to see just one channel, maybe out of 10 medium of sales. So that is also a kind of static, right? But when it comes to anyone in Manchester, let this person see Manchester's report. If you are in Spain, let the person in Spain see Spain reports, financial reports. If you're in Nigeria, so when we now have something like that to say, though in the same data that we use, the same data set, all right, when we create a single report out of all of this, when we publish, different people will see different things. Then that is dynamic, because when I log in, let's say I'm in London, I will only see what is applicable. Or for instance, bringing it to branch level, we have different branches. So this manager for branch A would see only for branch A. So then that is dynamic, because people are seeing different things at the same time when they are checking the report. So my point is, I've just mentioned static and I've also talked about dynamic. So we'll go into the practical soon. It's just to also understand that there's some consideration. Just for note, because this is not really a detailed class, but we want to ensure that we're able to do the practical or have more time to do that. So, but as we proceed, of course, there will be more explanations. So, row level security, though Power BI, Microsoft, they are doing fantastic things. I mean, in short, almost every time, because as you are doing something every month, Power BI is being updated, new things, some things that you could not do before on the Power BI, I mean, in the Power BI service, you are able to do them. But my point is, basically, if you are going to create this restriction that we are talking about, let's say you created a report in Power BI desktop, you will need to create that row in the desktop. So when you now publish the report to that workspace that I mentioned earlier, then you now activate it. You plug the row to who should see it. You get to understand what I mean. This is me assuming zero knowledge. So now this is specifically for dynamic, right? Dynamic level security, where you have different roles and you have reporting line. So where you have maybe a lot of hierarchical organogram, I mean, all of those things. So what you're seeing on my screen right now is that, let's say, for instance, right, Ayodeji is the MD CEO. So Ayodeji would see report for everyone. Either you are reporting to him directly or you are not reporting to him directly. Meaning that if you look at the first level of reporting, Jide is reporting to Ayodeji. Ganiat is reporting to Ayodele, and Jide has some people that are reporting to him directly, meaning indirectly, Morufa is also reporting to Ayodeji, but directly is reporting to Jide. So by the time Ayodeji is checking the report, Ayodeji is the only one that will see for everyone, right? Jide cannot see for Ganiat. Jide can only see for people under him. That means that since Oyedoyin does not have anyone reporting to her, Oyedoyin will only see what she has done. She will not see what Morifa has done, but Olajide will see, or Jide will see what he did. He would also see what Oyedoyin has done. And of course, the same for Morifa. I'm sure we understand looking at this image before us. But if there are questions, of course, let's drop the question. So we'll go into the demo and let's see how that goes. Then we'll come back if we need to. Now, because it requires maybe a lot of things. I have loaded the data, but I'll walk us through um, this. I'm sure if you're new, the data that I loaded, I got it from Excel. So all you need to do is get data, from Excel. But Power BI is so lovely that there are some common data sources that have been, put here for quick access. So all I did was to click on Excel because what I loaded was coming from Excel. And from there, I have two tables. There is one. So I'm going to click on table view. I just did so that you can see this table. It's already been prepared in a way to make it easy so that we don't spend too much time cleaning, so that we can focus on what we want to do. All right, so this is just to let you see some of the columns that we have here. So if I expand my data pane and I click on staff, there are also some columns here. You can see staff has 7 rows and you can see the columns. So the point is we have 2 tables. And on this table, that is where we'll create, I'll just create a simple, not too much. I'll just create maybe about 4 visuals or something so that we can achieve. The thing is, you can't just create row-level security on an empty page. So we need to create a report. So when we create report, then we'll now create, I'll walk us through, right? We'll now create that filter that we talk about. So for instance, let me just say, I want to visualize. Okay. I'm just thinking it now, so it's not that so I want to see, what should I see right now? I want to see, should I see, okay, just a moment. Let's say I want to, okay, let's say I want to see sales, it's fine. So I just tick and this will show because of the just know that if your interface is not looking like mine, just forgive me, right? Just don't worry. Some people's interface is like mine, some is not like mine. So this is the sales, right? And let's say I also want profit to be there. I just tick and it's showing on a card. I wouldn't also go into formatting, like I wouldn't design this too much, but if there's anything I always do, at least the minimum is to put border and all of that, but just take it this way for now. So let's say I want to visualize, okay, let me look for product or region. Okay, let's go for a zone. I think there is zone. I'm picking the zone as zone versus, let's say, sales. So it will do like a column good, so I can work with this. Let me collapse this so that this can be big. So let's say I'll just copy this, Control C, then Control V. The reason why I'm doing this is I want to manage the time. So let's say this is it. Maybe I don't want this, so I can just choose clustered column so that this can look different, right? So I want data label. I want the money to be there, but I don't want the same. So I could just say, no, this one should be profit. It could be anything, please. I just want to create a small. So let me format this just to enable data label on this. All right. And I can just, okay, let me do everything on this and just use this to copy and paste here. So there is, I want to put, okay, border and just to put that border should be on and shadow border should be there. That's the simple thing I always, at least if I'm not going to design, just allow me to do this one. And best practice, when you have similar things, alignment is also very important. So, but that is not the goal for the class today. Okay, so let's say this is all. Okay, I don't like sum of profits. I don't like that name for sum of profit. So let me come and just change it to profit. And then also change this to this. Okay. Okay, permit me to put, let me see if I need to reduce this. Just a moment. Callout value should be, let's see what 30 will give us, 30. I think it's fine. And this should Sergio. I like this. That's why. So maybe let me see what 25 will be, because I still want to put something here. 25. And let me put this. And just, okay, I think I'm fine. Okay, I think I'm good with this. So I will just replicate and put on this one. If I want, I could still put border and shadow, but just say I want it this way for now. Okay. Let me copy and paste this. All right. Good. So I want state. Let me say I want state on the table, state. So I could just search for state. Okay, this is state, but I want it on the table. So everyone, I'm not designing reports. So that's why I will not really design this. So I just want it maybe this way for now. For now, okay, copy this format and put on the table. Okay. So let us start with static. If I need to add more things, I will as we proceed. So let's say that you want to, so there is this table, which is called all transaction. And you want, they ask you to ensure that when people check this report, okay, let me put one more thing so that it will let it make more sense to you. So this, I will use this as, I pick this slicer. So, okay, this should come down a bit. So let me put zone on this slicer, zone. And it is this zone. And let me put, yeah. So I want to go back to this, play this for me, then come to build visual. Okay, I think I'm fine with that. So let's use, just a moment. Okay, select this. Good. Slice the settings. Now let me use tile. Good. And adjust this. So configure. I just want it to be as readable as anything for you. So that when changes happen to you, it will be obvious. Now, let's say you are instructed to only let them not see, I mean, they should not see all the zones. They should only see transaction for, say, south, any of the zones, right? But in this context, let's say southeast. So I would go to this tab called modeling. If I click on modeling tab, then I would see this place called security. You'll see manage roles. This is where to create that role that we're talking about, that role level security. And when you have created, you want to test, you want to check what you've created. So there is nothing now. If I publish this report, everyone will still be seeing this. But because they said, do not let them see all the zones, let them only see what happened in a particular zone called Southeast. I'll click on Manage Row, a dialog box to show. Now, it is partitioned into three. Of course, you want to create, then the tables will show and you can express yourself. You can say filter what data. That means you need to express yourself. Though Power BI is lovely now, you can just be clicking on add, but we will express ourselves. So I'll click on new. When I click on new, it is appropriate that you give it a name. It always, of course, so that you can easily identify what this is doing. So let me just call this, okay, to make it easy. No, let me just say static, right? Let me say, let's start with static, and that is the name. So this would filter a table. So if I click on this transaction table, right, in case you miss the scenario, you have created a report. They now said, do not let everyone see for all the zones. Let them only see for Southeast, right? So if I click on this ellipsis, for instance, nothing is showing because of the version I'm running. But if I click, I'll see ads for people that want to use this, but I will not use this, right? I can just switch to this one. Then this box would open. But I intentionally will cancel this, right? The reason is, let me use, since they have added, don't save, since they have added this one, but I will now alter it. So manage row, then new one, call it static. Then I can say this static would see anywhere. So I'll put say add. So it will show me all the columns, right? All the columns on that table. So there is zone. I'll click on zone. Since they said it should only be for Southeast, equal to means exact, right? I would then say Southeast. So if I save this, if there's any error, it will flag it behind and tell me. It said it is successfully applied, right? If I switch to DAX, look at this, meaning that, which simply means static will filter a table, column transaction, and a column on that table, which is zone. It will now look for any zone that is equal to Southeast. I could remove this double equal to, which is equality sign. I could use one. So my point is, in case you want to ask a question about, don't worry, you will still get your result either with 2 or 1. All right. My point is, I could leave it or I could just remove it. So let's check this first. So close. So I want to test to be sure that what I did is correct. So I'll come out, click on view as. So you can see by default none. The reason why you're saying none is that means that everyone will see this. But now that you have created something, you want to invoke this. So I'm testing now. I'll just click on static and I can say okay. So I'm expected to see only for one zone that we call, which is Southeast. So this kind of row level security is static. Now, let's say the manager is not saying, okay, we can see all the states in that zone. Now, what we want you to ensure they see is not for all the zones. It is only for Ebonyi, right? I don't want to create a new row. I want to add this as part of the row that I created. Let me stop viewing first. All right. Just note that there is Ebonyi. Ebonyi is in Southeast, right? So the total for all of them, the total for all of them. That's the profit for all of them. The sales for all the zones in this southeast. So I'm going to stop viewing. Everything will come back to normal. Now, let me say it again. What we have just seen is that let us only see for southeast. And all the states for southeast were filtered, right? Now, I want to edit this law such that, okay, before I proceed, let me create, okay, this could be, okay, still fine. Let me just, permit me, is like I said, this is not to do a fine report, right? So let's say I want to copy this, to make like a Control C, Control V, and I will just make room for it somehow. Okay, please, I'll just make room for this. What I want on this is promotion name. I don't want zone, promotion name. Good. All right. Now, let's say the story has changed to say what we want you to let them see or allow them to see is zone should be equal to southeast. State should be Ebonyi. Promotion name should be no discount. I mean, that means that before we saw all the states from that zone. Now we want to see the zone that that state belongs to. We want to see what the state, I mean, the state, and we want to see where no discount, like for promotion name. So I could just go back to this. I have a lot of things too, but I'm looking at time, so I'll just do this one, then go to dynamic. So I could just okay, let me still do this baby step. So let me add to say this one should not be channel, it should be state. So I'll pick state, where state is equal to Ebonyi. So I'll type EBONYI. All right, and remember, I also want to put promotion name. So I will click on add and I'll drop this and pick promotion name where promotion is equal to no discount. So NO is count, right? So let me try and switch and see how it has done it. Now, this means that zone southeast, state Ebonyi, promotion name, no discount. Let us check. All right. So I would say, okay, this is ampersand, like on the keyboard, what is it? Sorry, Shift 7. So I'll say save. Let's see if it's going to flag error. It says successfully applied. And let's check. Let's check first. So view as static and okay. This is only for Ebonyi. So you can see now that the state that is seeing now is for Ebonyi. No longer all the states from south east, right? So this is the contribution. This, you know, we checked it before. I will have even created 2 rows, but I'm just trying to let you know that you can, like, anyways, this is just still 1 row. And this is already confirming family. My point is there are no limit. There are a lot of things, but this is just this one. Okay. So that is, in case there is someone that's feeling like, I don't know, let me just quickly do, okay, let me rename this to Ebonyi with no discount. Ebonyi, no discount. I like that whatever we do is named properly so that it is readable. So then let me say this one is southeast. So this southeast, I want it to affect where state is southeast. Oh, so where zone, sorry. Where zone is southeast. And let's see this. I've clicked on save. Yes. Okay. So let me check. Oh, there was a delay. So sorry. I'm trying to. Okay, so it's fine. Now let me just check that only, and I'll just say only use this one, southeast. In case someone missed that, so I deliberately did this. You'll see that the total for all the southeast is 1 million. So when you see the one for Ebonyi, that's the contribution for Ebonyi. So everything that you saw was, you can see sum of sales for all of them. All right. So I just felt that maybe someone wanted me to do that again. All right. So, but if I check with Ebonyi with no discount, of course, whatever you are seeing now is only applicable to this guy based on what we do. Okay. So this is, I mean, just one of the ways to do a static one. If I publish this, I'm looking at time now. So normally I should publish and then say add people to the workspace, but I'm looking at the time. So let me go to dynamic. So now for dynamic, if you want to ensure, okay, so permit me to also reduce this. All right. Just forgive me in case it doesn't look nice. So for dynamic, let me put, okay, one, I have two tables. I've shown this before. So I have this and I have this. There is staff ID. Let's say this is my staff ID. So I have someone I'm reporting to. I mean, this is what this means. Then don't worry about position. The most important thing on this table would be your email. This is not needed. Your email, not even your name, your email, okay, zone for relationship and staff number and line manager number. That would be the most important thing. But the most forgive me, the most important would be zone. The reason is we need to establish relationship between these guys. So let me come to model view. So in case you, okay, let me just scroll. If I over my cursor, of course, we know what, in case you do not, okay, let me just double click on this. So because we have two tables, we need to establish relationship. Okay, let me also say something. If we have, okay, let me say it this way. So there is what we call cardinality, which has to do with the relationship between how they relate, right? There's also what we call cross filter, which is the filter context, cross filter direction, which we have single or both. So if one person, let me move out of this so that I think you need to see the table. It's better so that you understand. Now, if you look at this table, let's say Olajide is managing Southeast and is also managing Southwest. My point is then on this, it will be many times, right? Okay, meaning that this will not be unique. In case, just forgive me, because of time, I may not be as detailed as I want to be. But the point is, the reason why you see one to many here, one star means many, is because on this table, people can buy from different zone. Let me stay on this table. If we go to zone, you'll see is occurring more than one because someone from Bauchi bought something, someone from Borno bought something. So it's occurring many times there. If we now also have a case where one person is also managing many zones, then one of the things we can do is to create a middleman table or core intermediary table, right? That would help us to ensure that there is no ambiguity. Ambiguity means that so that we can avoid many to many in that instance. There are many ways to solve this, right? So my point is, if there are multiple, in case of multiple user to a zone, that's what I was saying here. In case of multiple user to a zone, then you will need to ensure that filter flow from the staff to transaction table, right? You have to create intermediary table. That's one. And you have to ensure that it is two-way. That is both cross-filtered direction. In case what I'm saying does not make sense, you would ensure that this is in that context to ensure that this is both, and you want to ensure that applies equal filter in both directions. That is what I'm trying to say. But for this is good. All right, so I don't need to do that. Now, let me, now that we've related this, right, let me go back to reports before I come to create this and put staff name, staff name on the table. Okay. And I want to put another thing. For now, let's just put staff name and I code. It's fine as a table. I think I'm fine with this. Okay. Let me also put this format in. The reason is I just like that at least border is there. So I want a situation where, just like what I showed on this slide, if you still remember this one, if Ayodeji is checking, what will he see? If this person is checking, what will he see, right? So that means we need to do dynamic row level security. So if I click Ayodeji now, do not worry, nothing really. It would only be seeing this because that's it. So, but because he's the MD CEO, he should not only see this, he should see everything, like everything. So we would then create that dynamic row level security. I always feel that I should show behind the scene instead of going straight to invoke or write the DAX for this one. So I would stay here, and there are many things running in my mind, but I want to just go and use a simple way that will make sense. So I'm now trying to say, instead of me going straight to just say, create a row. No, I want to show you what would happen behind the scene. So I'll stay here. Now, I want to add this column that I'm about to add is to let you see the true picture of something. I don't know. I'm looking for the best way to put it, but you'll see when I do this now. So I will click on new column. But this column is not needed, right? And let me call this column reporting line. Reporting or report line. Report line. So this report line, why am I, or what is this even for, right? I want to have a column where I would see who I'm reporting to and me. I want to see my staff ID and my report manager or report line ID, right? So there's a function called paths. So if I pick paths, right? Of course, every function has what they do. Path will tell you what it does. So what it requires two things from me. It's asking for my ID and the person I'm reporting to. So our own staff ID, you get staff number is staff. Staff number. This is it. Then comma, and then the person I'm reporting to, which is my line manager. So that's all. So I'll close the bracket. So when I press, of course, enter, you see a column that shows so what you are seeing, Ayodeji here is not reporting to like anyone, but you can see 101 is ID, so it's showing everywhere. Meaning that when you check this report, you will see like he has eyes everywhere. All right. So because of time, I could be very detailed, just pardon me. So the lesser the ID you are seeing, the more the person would see. So, but the more the ID, the less the person would see, if that makes sense to you. So let me add another column. Now, this column, I want to let you see if, for instance, if this person is checking, what will he see? So this column will return true or false. All right. So let me call this should I put? Okay, let's say view. View means I want to see what you will see if you check. So I'll put question mark. View what or view. So remember we use path to do this, right? Then there's a function called path contains. What in this part that you use, what does it contain? So there's a function that is called path contains, this one. All right. Which return true. You know, I said it will return true or false to be sure that what will you see. So path contains is asking me for path. So that part I have used it in defining this column. So I could just, instead of doing this function again, I could just call on this guy because I have used the path to create it. So, and I will put comma. Now, because I want to I want to check what someone will be seeing, right? So, and I want you to go through the path to check, to use the path, right? So I will say for people that have an understanding of Microsoft Excel, there is what we call lookup, right? Which is like reconciliation, data reconciliation, something like that. You want to look for something to check. So I'll call a function called lookup value. So this lookup value will now be the one who will help me to look for something and return something like that. Don't mind me, I'm laughing too. Just trying to look for the best way to bring it to you. So I want to use my staff ID, staff number in this context, which is my staff number, then comma. And you know, when this is published, you will need to sign in with your email. So it is your email that is your unique, like it's a user principal. I'll explain user principal name, the name of the person that is checking. Because I can't create this report and carry my laptop to your office and say, check your own. No, I have to publish it to a workspace. And of course, it is your email that you need to use to sign into Power BI servers. And so this context and our email is already on this table, right? So my point is, I will then put email, which is staff emails. Face that now. Okay, this is it. Now, meaning that I go and check, then I'll put comma. I want to check. Like I said, these are not needed because this is what I'm actually going to write in the DAX, but I'm showing us here. So let's say if Gania is checking, what will she see? So I'll put Gania here. Gania at gyrecomputers.com. Because it's a text for now, that's why I put it in inverted comma, this quotation, right? So let's say enter. So let's see if what I've written is also correct. Okay, so now we saw that you will return true or false. What you are seeing right now is that Ghanaians would see. Remember, let's even check. Remember this organogram. Look at Ghanaians. She will see our report. She will see for Chika. She will also see for Krede. So if I come back here, I should see 3 trees, right? So Ghania will see for herself. She will see for, okay, I mean, this data is not the same as the slide. So I'm sure we understand. So if I change all of this, so that's it. In order to make this easy, I put part contains. It contains this part, which is this one. Then lookup value would help me to look for my staff ID using my email and what the person will be checking. Now, before I come back to copy this, instead of writing it, let's put, it's always nice that you put okay, so when I create report, I also put pictures of the persons in case you are seeing this one here. Don't mind me. So it's just a picture, image URL of the people and all of that. So, but I want to put a measure, right? This measure is to just help me to put a name to it, the name of the person that is checking for real. All right. So let me say, should I call this now? You report user. Let me say report user. So you put user. So it is your email that will check who is checking actually, but I cannot type Ghania at so. No, there is a function called user principal name. So I will just type user principal name. So it's not asking me for anything. data related or database or data in the world of data. All right, there's what we call functions, and there's what we call some function will have arguments, some will not have arguments. So this one does not have anything it's asking for because it will be checking the email of the person that is checking. I hope that makes sense. So I'll just say enter, right? And I want to visualize this so that when so let me put it somewhere. Where's username? Okay, let me collect this. Where is report? Okay, report user. Can you just stay on a card? Let me put it somewhere. The reason why you're seeing this is the name of the laptop I'm using. All right. So, but by the time we do the row level security now, this will change to something. The email of the person checking. Okay, I'm looking at my time. So I'll just put that minimum that I always do, which is this one. All right. Okay. So to make life easy, let me go back here and copy. Let me collapse this. Collapse this. I will copy this. Control A, Control C. Then I'll go back to report view. We now want to create a role. So I would click on create. And this is new. Let me call it director. No, managers. Managers, right? And what will lead to, it will filter this table. Then I can just switch and Control V. Now, of course, I won't say view equals to no. That, this is the name of a column. So, and this one is not column, right? This is row level security. So it's not about the column. Then you can see what I removed, view equal to or something. Now, in this place, I will not put Ghania. That one that I use for reports user, this, I created a measure and I use user principal name. So instead of Ghania equal to or something, I will not need this, right? Then I will say, I can write it in lowercase or uppercase, user principal name. Remember, I'll put open and close brackets. I didn't change anything other than I removed Ghania and I type user principal name. Let's see if this will work. And then I click on save. I wait for it. It says successfully applied role changes. So I think it's fine. So let us check. So I will click on view as, right? And this is no longer static because I want to test this. I would say the row is manager. And because this is not only applicable to Ghanaian, we have other staff. So if any of this is checking, what would they see? Then I'll have to say the row belongs to all of them, but let's see for each person, right? But in Power BI, in the cloud, I will not say, let's see for each person. User principal name will automatically know who is signing. So I'll just say others. Then let's say if Jide is checking, Jide Idowu at Cherry Computers. If I make mistake, it will say, so let's just see. Hopefully I didn't make error typing this. Okay, so now Olajide is seeing this, and you can see Jide Idowu. That means if I'm checking this report in the cloud, this is what I will see. Let me quickly say stop sharing, and let's see someone else. View as manager, others. Let's see Ghanaians. Ghanaians at computers. Let's see. I have 1 minute left. So this is what Ghania will be saying. Remember, just know that's what she'll be saying. Let's see what Ayodele will be saying, if this will change or not. So manager, order, DG at cherrycomputers.com. So nothing should change because you should be able to see everything. So, that is to let you know that this is working. My time is up, but just forgive me. I think I've created a workspace. I'll just publish it to this and just show That's that. So let's save this. Let me click on file and browse. Or let me just click on save. I don't want this to delay.
Actually, we are okay with if you need extra minutes.
Oh, thank you, sir. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh, this one is, let me click again. Okay, it's here. So what should I call this now? Let's say PBI underscore office hour. And I want it to be saved. Where is this now? Okay. Stay where I can see. Browse. Stay on the desktop and PBI underscore O officer. Let's do this one. Then, oh, don't mind me. I'm now rushing. So it's okay. So let me do the right thing. Just forgive me. Save. All right. PBI. That's the office hour. Let's see where we are. That's fine. Good. So then I will publish this to, let me see the name again. A demo. All right. So I'll publish it to that workspace. For us, I'm sure we know that we have to sign in. If you've not signed in, it will ask you to sign in. So I'm publishing it to this workspace, which I just created for the purpose of this. Okay. So got it. So, okay, so it's here. Now, because this is the life, of course, this used to be data set. It is not semantic model. So this is the life of this guy. So if anything is going to happen, it has to happen to the life that will affect the body. It will not happen to the body first. I mean, my point is this is dependent on this. So I'll just click on this, right? If I open this report now first, let me show that since you have given me more time, everyone. Thank you. So, meaning that if I like open this now, everyone will still see. I've not added people to this workspace. I think I've not. So everyone will still see this. So I shouldn't, when I create a workspace, I should add people and of course give them viewer, right? And then of course now plug in the row level. So let's me go to a demo is the workspace. Let me see. I'll just add, okay. Let me just add, I'll not add everyone on that list. Let me just add, remember we need to add them as viewer. So let me type Ghanaian. Good. Let me add Shide also. Let me just add those two people. So the person that created this report is not Jide though, it's Olajide. Just so you know, this is Olajide Idowu. All right, this is Olajide though. So that's other person. Of course, it's still me, but my point is, and so if you create a report as a data analyst, you will see it because you will see everything. So it is when you now share it with other people that they will not see everything based on whatever restriction you have added. So right now, if they open this report, they will still be able to see everything. But I then have to plug that row level in. I'll click on this ellipsis. I'll see security. If you do that on the report, you'll not see security, right? So stay on the semantic model. You'll see security. Click on it, you'll see 0, meaning that all those that I've created, can you see? So now I'm putting this on manager. There is group in Entra or in AD, Active Directory, but because of time, I wouldn't be as detailed as I should be, meaning that you can add individual or you add the group. So let's say I will add Kania to this, right? And should I add a live video right now? I planned something to show you what if I don't add in, what will happen to him. I plan to do that, but just forgive me. I think rushing now. So let me save this. I've not added Olajide, I only added Kaniyat. So there is a scenario in my head I wanted to let you see, but let's check. So I only added one person. So let's check now. We can test from here too to say, okay, Gania can now see that, but let's check what Gania will be seeing. Remember, I am not part of, if I'm testing at the row, let me refresh this. I should not see anything. Olajide Idowu should not see anything if I'm checking based on that row. But if I'm checking as a data analyst, of course, if I'm checking as the person that created this report, I'll see everything. Okay. Oh, I hope that maybe I'm somewhere. Anyway, just know that. Oh, okay. I'm wondering now. Maybe I put the wrong email. Just forgive me. Just a moment. They do. Okay. Let's go back. Who's checking? Oh, does that invoke this? Oh. Okay, I'm not checking based on. I know. Don't mind me. Is this one that is working? I don't need this one. Is this one I want to? I'm wondering why so I shouldn't be seeing. So let's check as this row. I'm sure you understand what I mean. Forgotten that. So now I'm checking based on manager role. Of course, Olajide Idowu is not part of the manager, so he will not see. So that's why everywhere is blank. So let me check what Gania would see if I select person and say Ganiat. What will she see? So, and I click on apply. So this user does not have access to the data set or report. Okay. So now this is what Gania would see. I'm sure we understand, and you can see that this is Ghanaian. So this is how this takes place. Let's see that Jide that I did not add, though it's part of the workspace, but I didn't add him. All right. Let me remove Ghanaian and put Jide and say apply. Do we understand? You know, though it's part of the workspace, but I did not add him to the row. So it would also be restricted seeing the report. In case you didn't get this. So this is, okay, let's go back. So it is deliberate because I really wanted to show that. Let's go back to this, then security. And remember, I did not add him. So let me add him and see. So Jide, then add, then save. Permit me to refresh this. Okay, so let's see and test. And this is Olajide, not Jide. So let's see, select person, Jide. Good. I hope we understand. So, Mr. Michael, please over to you. So,
Wow, thanks a lot. So there are some questions already. Emmanuel has, I'll read them the way he has arranged them. So when you
okay.
started with the demo part and you mentioned, that you brought in the data from Excel, but that people can bring in data from anywhere. So he was now asking that, do you have a place to recommend for him to get practice data? So where can one get raw data to practice? So that was his question one, that you have
Okay.
maybe some idea on someone who wants data and maybe his
Okay.
job or company does not yet have the kind of data he can practice.
Yeah, there are, okay, cargo is common. That is KGGLE. Cargo is very common. I always go there and play around with, even till date. I just scan through cargo, that's KAGGLE, and get some data. I've seen data that relate to heart disease pattern. So there's also, I think, I can't remember specifically. I know maybe UN. There is this. When I check, I'll share that. Uh, about 7 years ago or so, or five, I used to get data from there. And there are other places, but to start with, you can get data from Cargo. There are other ones that you can get, but you have to make payments. There are other ones that you see you have to pay or subscribe. So, but free data you can get on Cargo. Mr. Mike, I hope I answered correctly, just to be sure.
Yes, he even replied with the website, and I have timed it up. I've told him that yes, that's the correct website. So
Okay.
the another question. So when you are done with the demo on your Power BI desktop, and you now said, okay, for us to see this work that you're going to publish. So he asked this question that do I need to publish the report before others can see it?
Good. Thank you for that question. Also, we can't walk backward into the future. Just imagine. So let me answer you this way. So I've created a report. I'm reporting to Mr. Mike. I'm reporting to Madam Ife and Tolulope. Now, so will I carry my laptop to? So she's in Washington. So they will pay my flight ticket. I'll go there. Or okay, no, let's save costs. Just attach it in the email, and they open it, or send it via WhatsApp. No, we cannot walk backward into the future. We must create a shared environment, right? So the reason why we have workspaces so that it's an environment where you add others. Just like I created a workspace and I added everyone, either group or email. And so when you are done with your report, you would need to, because it's a shared environment, right? And it's even recommended that you share from the workspace because, of course, in the workspace, you can create an app where you will share because some people might not should not even see some things, and so it will be the right thing to do. You publish a report to the workspace. I hope I answered that correctly.
Yeah, yes, sir. So the other question from me was when you are adding the users on the Power BI service side, that security, that place where you had created the different, where it had already detected those rules and you are now adding people to manager. So his question, hmm, no, that was not when he asked it. He asked it when
Okay.
you went to the reports and then on the Power BI service, and then you were adding people as viewer. So by default, they were member. You now mentioned that you have to switch them to viewer. So
Yeah.
he now asked if everyone is viewer, who does the work? Who does the work of getting the data? I don't know if you
Okay.
get it, but this is the
I
way he
no no
asked it.
I like that. I
Okay.
understand. So uh who does the work of getting data? I in this instance or in this context, you employed me as a BI person. I am to create report for everyone in the organization. So I am not a database guy that has created architecture or created a data warehouse. My point is I will need to go get data. It could be on our website. It could be that I have to talk to the database administrator to give me access to the data source. So the first thing or my role will be I need to get data from somewhere. It is when I get the data, right? I need to create a report and put it in that workspace. Of course, I'll create a workspace and add the people that should see the report in the workspace. So my responsibility is to get data. My responsibility is to create report. Their responsibility is not to get data. Their responsibility is not to create report. Their responsibility is to see their report and not to edit their report. Reason why I will give them viewer is they are just to see their performance, not to say, oh, if they have any other thing, they can call me on the phone that why is this like this? Of course, I will check as okay. For instance, if you say you are not seeing, you think you should be seeing XYZ, but you are seeing 1, 2, 3, I'll say, okay, don't worry. I will check and get back to you. So I can check as you. My point is uh, you are the one responsible for all of this. They should just see what they need to see. Let me know if I answered correctly.
Yes, he has even asked another follow-up, or I will read the question, the order that they have been posted. So yes, I think he's even done a thumbs up now. So yes. Then Moise can asked where I can get the recording. I have answered him. I've posted the YouTube channel where by tomorrow or Tuesday, I don't know because the person who does the editing, at the office, we are on leave, so we've closed for the day. I don't know
Right.
if he will be chanced, but anyway, the recording I've posted the link of where people will find it in this new week. Then so was then okay, I hope I pronounced his name correctly. He's asking that can't I use the principal user? I think he wants to say user principal measure that you created, but the way he or she wrote it here is like user participation. But I know it's that user principal that you created, that measure that you created. So she's saying, can't I use the user principal measures instead of
Okay.
entering their email one by one at that web service where you are adding their emails? And I know you also mentioned we could have
Hmm.
used them Active
Group.
Directory
Yes, Active
groups.
Directory. Yes.
Uh, So that's the
Okay.
person's question.
Yeah. So the point is, this is the place we were checking one by one. Um, which you need to test. So by the time we publish, right, we'll still need to add them. If there is a group, like for instance, we have, okay, let me put it this way. You can use group. I want to go back there so that it can make more sense in a way. So you will see add people or group. Let's say, okay, let me put it this way. In Entra or Active Directory, there are different groups. There is distribution group. There is a mail enabled group. There's Microsoft. It used to be Active Directory. Anyway, there is Microsoft Entra Security Group, but you cannot. The exception there is that Microsoft Office. I mean, that's Microsoft 365 group are not supported. I can't be added to any role. The point is, instead of adding their email one by one, if a group has been created, right, all I need to do, okay, for instance, let me say the magic. So there is a group called magic. Good. So instead of adding them one by one, so let's say all of them are in this magic, or maybe some are in the magic, there's another one superstar, right? And if I click this magic now, let's say there are 20 people, don't worry, all of them are already there. And if I pick that superstar, let's say there are 30 of them, all of them are already there. Let me know if I answered you correctly.
So Wazenji, do you want to make additional comments? Uh, I will now move to the next question. So Emmanuel is now asking that what are the license requirements for viewers?
Okay. The okay, so viewer. Anyway, so if you want to create or share content, or let's say someone share with you, the minimum would be that you must have a pro license or a premium per user license. Uh, because what I'm trying to say is that you can play with Power BI desktop, but when it comes to collaboration, someone sharing with you, or yes, someone sharing with you, if they shared something with you and you do not have that minimum pro, you might not be able to even open that. So uh, I may not have the adequate, but I think that's it. Pro license is the minimum. Mr. Mike, am I correct? Pro license is the
I,
minimum.
yes, the only other way people can get is when their company has paid for the very expensive Power BI premium. And then, so for most companies, that pro license is actually the minimum.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. So I'm looking. So we have answered the audience questions. There are two other questions that typically we ask every special guest that we have, and maybe I'll read the two questions together. I don't know how
Okay.
many more minutes you have, or should I just read them one by one
No,
so
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
come back?
Please,
Uh,
you are free. Please go ahead.
okay, so I'll read them one by one then, so that you can answer them the way you naturally would have answered one by one. So the first one is we are always interested in hearing the journey of everybody that we have had the honor of hosting here as a presenter, and their journey into this space, how their challenges, and the at least it helps us to see that whatever challenge which you are facing, people to others that are now masters also have faced it, and some people can pick some motivation from it.
Learnings
So
from it.
yeah,
Good.
so yes, sir.
Okay, so I would say it this way. I was privileged to have worked on a project for United Nations, um, more than over 13 years or thereabouts. So what I was doing was, it was based on OVC, that's orphanage and vulnerable children and HIV and AIDS. So we'll go into the field and get data, but I will now submit it. So what they now do with the data is not my business. So anyways, uh, I was supposed to work after the project phased out. My point is, uh, I wanted to know more, but I didn't know what they do with it. So I was supposed to work with PwC when the project phased out, right? And I did first level interview, I passed, second level, I passed, third, which was the last one. Of course, it's a number of people. I was privileged to be part of the last three. So um, they now gave me laptop. Say this Excel or something. Excel is one of the data analysis too. That you say you know. Let us see it now. Anyway, they gave me a printed paper written in words. So even interpret, like, to translate that thing. So, anyways, at the end of the day, the lady walked up to me and said, Mr. Idowu, I mean, not even we'll get back to you. We cannot log out. So, and I was so like, passed the first, second, and third, this guy. That day, I made up my mind that whatever it takes to know this, I will know it. Not only will I know it, I will also be passionate to also impact the knowledge. Um, Data analysis or Excel being the first love for me, gave me, this is recorded, so I won't want to use all the mouth to say it, gave me one of my best breakthrough, right, in terms of big money. So it was rough. It's still rough. We are still patching it. My point is, um, I love, sorry for, this is Power BI, right, but I love Excel. And I now love Power BI more. It's been, you start, there are some real tasks you face with client. Client will want you to turn heaven to earth sometimes, right? So you also need to ensure you satisfy those clients. So that would also drive me to go and be searching all of these functions. How will I know what function to use? Of course, I will check the documentation and see. There is no perfect project, so to say. So when I do some of those things, I also share with some people to help me review. So we'll review. I'll also pick some learnings. Okay, don't do it this way, do it that way. And I mean, and we are still doing all of that today. Even if I do something, I still share with my boss. Even my boss will also say, okay, look at it, because we are getting better every day. So I don't know if I answered in a way. There are a lot of things, but I don't know if I touch on anything. Let me know, sir.
Okay, thanks. I will just say, Emmanuel says he's very happy with this question and he wants to know, do you have any regrets so far? Do you
Oh,
think there
no
are some
regrets.
mistakes? Oh, okay,
Ah,
no regrets. That's
okay,
a good
so
one.
my brother, please, no regrets, because sincerely, apart from the fact that we've been working on from home for over 4 years, it has also afforded us the opportunity not to only get money from our 9 to 5. So it has exposed us to international job, Canada, Dubai. I mean, a lot of places, and we have even traveled to get. So my point is, there is no regret, because the more we face the unknown, the more we also pick learnings from there. I've done something that one of our colleagues was like, how are we going to solve this? Because those guys were even in Dubai telecommunications, and we're able to do some calculations with DAX, and those guys were happy at the end of the day, even gave us more than, like, because they couldn't solve it. They had one big guy in that is BI. My point is, there's no regret, because we pick learnings and we keep getting better. So I hope I answered correctly.
Yes. So he's also asked that what are the mistakes that every newbies should avoid?
Okay. Wanting to impress your client. I'm not saying we shouldn't impress, or maybe I should say over impress. When I started, let's say Power BI, right? Uh, some of the mistakes would be that I'm loading too much visual on a page because I was thinking it needs to be verified. So I will be loading too much visual. Not until I was experiencing that it's slow to load. Of course, not until I was also being correct. I mean, told to say, I mean, so we should not, because we want them to see us as being good or we know what we are doing, and try to over impress. So that's one of the things I did, of course, which I also learned very fast not to do that. So for everyone starting, you will need to be consistent. You should not do over impression. I think that is, and don't, what you don't know, don't say you also know, because we've been privileged to be on the interview pod and someone was employed at the end of, like, in 3 months, what he said he could do, or she couldn't. So I think that is it from me, sir.
Okay, so the last question, because it was two, all these last two I asked were from Emmanuel. So the
Yes, sir.
second that I originally planned was to ask you about your advice. Like if anybody in the audience, maybe this was a physical conference and they walked up to you and they say, they are just starting out. What mentor kind of advice can you give them on how to go from zero to someone that can, work as a professional in this space? What would be your advice?
Okay, sir. Good. The advice would be that consistent. So I define commitment based on consistency. What do I mean? Uh, if you are starting, you do what works for you. But the point is, you must be consistently committed. What I'm trying to say is maybe 1 hour daily or 30 minutes daily for the next 6 months, for the next 3 months. If you do not dedicate to practice, you will not, uh, nobody is a full master of everything. So let me just say this, though this is recorded. So running masters in Germany in business intelligence. And they gave us something to do, a case study. So my professor wanted to review with me. She said she would spend 30 minutes. She ended up spending 2 hours, 30 minutes. She was like, before I even saw me, she wanted to see it. The point is, I didn't create any impression in the class. But when someone was to check for 30 minutes, she ended up, she was now laughing that, okay, so why are you even in this class? I said, I need to learn too. The point is, if you want to keep getting better, you have to be committed to it, and it has to be consistent. That will be my advice, because you can't say you want to start making money. That's always the first thing. But value is what I would bring to the table first. There is nobody that brings value that will not get that value. So that is, money is not always the first motivation for me. If you have what it takes, people would call you. Then you can sit and be rolling your chair, knowing that there's something. So that, I don't know if that makes sense.
I totally agree that, value, once you, if you prioritize creating value, except if one is greedy, I don't think one will suffer on the money side.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Emmanuel, and I know he is a lot more interested in all of your advice, because he said at the beginning that he's going
Yes,
from
sir.
zero
No, yeah,
level.
I can see.
So
Let me talk to this in the era of Copilot. So one of the lovely things is, just sincerely, right? Microsoft is trying, because something that are like hard not to crack are now being simplified. Copilot is sweet. Copilot is lovely. Uh, for me, it is best you understand the thing behind Copilot. then you can co-pilot the co-pilot. So in the era of co-pilot, are there co-pilot features in Power BI? Yes, there are. One that they put in Power BI, which is lovely, is I wouldn't say lazy for lazy people. No, it is just to make life easy in a way, which is for DAX. There used to be quick measure. Of course, it's still there. There is new measure and there is quick measure. So before now, you have to do a lot of things. But right now, you can just use the Copilot that will suggest for you, okay, help me calculate total sales or something, and it would just generate that for you. But don't rely on it. You also have to check. So if you do not have knowledge of DAX, how do you vet, how do you know that what Copilot is returning is correct? So I hope I answered you correctly.
Wow, thanks a lot, sir. So, any other question from anyone as we wrap up? So I see people are thankful, and thank you to everyone who stayed to this time. I know this is an extended version, but it's better we get the complete thing than to say we want to hurry, and then we now miss out from where a lot of what will have been valuable to us, is
Yes, sir.
being mentioned. So thank you very, very much. And at this stage, without any more questions, I see people are saying thank you. At this stage, I think we will. Okay, someone is asking how to get to you.
Okay,
I will post
let me
the
see.
LinkedIn again, but in case if you want to also give them another way they can reach you, uh, please
No,
feel
no,
free, sir.
LinkedIn is fine. LinkedIn is fine.
Okay,
LinkedIn is fine.
posting that again. Okay. And then that reminds me, so everyone, I'm going to also share, uh, like we always like to hear from you about what type of sessions we should bring, and if you have something that you want to present to us on. Uh, so I'm sharing the link if you know someone who you feel can present to us on something that is in line with our team, data analytics, Power BI. I've shared that. Then I'm sharing one more on you to just let us know what kind of sessions you want us to bring, like a session. We call it a feedback. So I will just do that. And with that, I will end today's session. And Merry Christmas to everyone, and a
Oh,
wonderful New
that's true.
Year ahead. I think by next week, is it next? I think by next week will be New Year. Next year, next week is next
Yes.
year. Yeah. So thank you, everyone, and thanks again to our special guest today. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
this
sir.
very down to heart way. I like the way you've explained everything. Nobody who is an expert will still not gain, and anybody who is starting from fresh will also be able to follow. And that's one thing that we found out, that when people watch sessions that they miss, they like it when all of what they need is presented in the session. They don't have to go to fill in the gap from something else. So thank you very, very much, and I'm ending the session now.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful week, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.